Hi, everyone. I'm Sabrina Dami, and this is your 13 Now update on this Wednesday afternoon. And let's start with the weather. I'm sure a lot of you saw the snow falling last night and still on the ground this morning. A look at what some people may have seen last night. It was a pretty sight, but I think kind of took some by surprise because, hey, it's mid-November. We're used to getting snow this time, but we're always not used to that first snowfall. Some shoveling and wilting. You're seeing video on your screen right now this morning. Let's bring in meteorologist Paul Cayano right now. And Paul, I know we're used to it. It's not unusual, but like I said, I think it just throws people off.
Yeah, look, we know it's coming every year, but when you have something that hasn't happened in 7 or 8 months, and it's because a little bit of a surprise, right? Even though it was in the forecast, and it wasn't a lot, right? I mean, most of us got 1 or 2 inches. Some places, as expected, got 3 or 4 inches of snow, with more in the mountains, but the forecast was pretty much on target. You saw the snow coming down late last night. It started adding up, and you start thinking, I'll tell you, as a meteorologist, wait a minute here. If it keeps snowing like this, it's going to be more than we expect. But like we expected, it changed to rain, and it was kind of sloppy for the morning drive.
It sure was, but thankfully, no big issues, and just a nice taste of what's to come, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. It was pretty for a while. I don't think it did much in the way of slowing down the commute too much this morning. And now we're left with kind of this overall November-like feel, right? It hadn't felt like November up until now. And now look outside on the CDPHP first warning cam over downtown Albany. Yeah, clouds and damp and a little bit of drizzle, a little bit of fog in spots. It has reached 40 in a lot of places, and that's about it, though. It's probably not going to get much higher with limited, if any, sunshine. We may go up another degree or so, but that sun sets early this time of year, and these temperatures are going to start to drop back as we go toward the evening hours. It's dry, though. First warning live Doppler radar, not a whole lot going on anymore. The storm's progress was on track. It was out of here early this morning. Leftover sprinkles and drizzle and some scattered showers around in the North Country now, but those are even departing. Notice what's setting up. If you look towards Syracuse and then also toward Buffalo, we have these lake effect bands of rain and snow. This is going to be the weather headline in the Northeast and really across the country over the next several days leading into the weekend. There's going to be some serious lake effect snow, especially downwind of Buffalo, downwind of Lake Erie, south of Buffalo. And they're going to be measuring snow 12, 14, probably upwards around 20 inches before this is done. So a big deal for folks heading into the weekend before Thanksgiving who like to do the shopping and so forth. For us, it looks a lot quieter as usual with the northwest breeze, a chill in the air, temperatures sliding back through the 30s tonight. We're going to maintain a bunch of cloud cover. We're not going to get a whole lot from that lake effect action, but you could see the bands lining up tonight, tomorrow, maybe see here 11:15, maybe passing flurry or scattered snow shower, a couple sprinkles getting this far downwind. But we'll track these bands. If anything does dust the ground in spots, we'll bring that to you. Otherwise, it looks like a quiet stretch of weather, blustery and cool heading into the next few days. 30 tonight, back up toward the 40-degree mark tomorrow. Again, the average high is upper 40s to around 50 this time of year. So anything you see lower than that on the 7-day is colder than normal. And we're going to see highs in the 30s through the weekend. A fair amount of sun, some flurries, some gusty winds, and finally back up into the mid-40s for the early part of next week.
All right, Paul, there we go. I mean, it is that time of year, and I think it's just a little jarring because we were in the 70s not too long ago, and now we have 20s and snow on the ground, and that's the capital region for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's that contrast, right? And like on a dime, things turn, and really, though, it's back, as you alluded to, it's back to normal, right? So it's like the real unusual stuff was the warm stuff. We just wanted it, so it felt like this was unwanted.
Well, spot on forecast as usual, Paulie. Thank you very much. We'll talk with you live at 4.
You got it.
I want to talk about a story, really quite the talker, a deer crashing through the window of a nursing home in Johnstown. And Dan Levy went to Johnstown today and got video of this happening, Dan. It's great stuff.
It's terrific stuff. It's compelling stuff. And, it was a potentially very dangerous situation. Keep in mind, this is a 6-point buck. This is a huge animal, very energetic, and it was frightened. It was trapped, and it crashed through the window of the first floor rehab center. Now, fortunately, there were no residents. There were no patients who were in the rehab room at the time, Although the director of rehab tells me that just 10 minutes before that incident happened, there was an elderly woman in there working out, and fortunately, she was out of the room when the deer came in there, and fortunately, the staff knew enough to shut the doors, because if it had gotten out into the hallway, it could have gotten loose in the patient room. There were some patients who were walking around in the hallways. What a mess that could have been.
Dan, we have the video up on the screen right now. So the deer crashed into this workout room. You could see it there it goes out the window there, finally found its way out, but you could see it going at that mirror over and over again.
Yeah, the deer was in there for about 10 minutes. It was jumping around. It was thrashing. It was looking at itself, apparently looking at its own reflection in the mirror. And I don't know if it was trying to attack it or what it was trying to do, but there were some frightening moments for the staff members there. Now, I spoke with Bill Betts, who is the director of rehab there. He kind of told a funny story, and he can laugh about it now because no one was injured, but he's an avid hunter. And for the past 6 weeks, he says, he's been out in the woods in his camouflage gear and the whole nine, and no deer has come near him. So he shows up at the office on Monday afternoon, and the deer comes to him, crashes through the window.
Incredible. And thankfully, like you said, no one was hurt. Could have been a dangerous situation. The deer got out safely as well. I'm sure people will be pleased to know that.
Sure. Now, there was some blood at the scene, although the deer was last seen sprinting, hightailing it out, if you will. So that tells you that it wasn't badly injured. We hope it wasn't badly injured. But again, all's well that ends well, I suppose.
All right. Wow. We will look forward to hearing more about this starting live at 4 in less than an hour now. Dan, thank you very much. I know you're busy. Thanks for taking a break to chat with us about this.
You got it.
Another quick mention coming up live at 4. You probably have seen gas prices continue to fluctuate. So there is a push to extend the gas tax holiday. I want to show you a little bit about that. The push, as you probably heard over the summer when prices were so high, to remove that gas tax and have that off of our payments essentially until December 31st. There's push now to extend that even further. So Stella Porter's working on that. She's going to have an update on that as we approach the holidays coming up live at 4 as well. So that's your 13 Now update. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sabrina Dhami. Our next newscast is live at 4 on News Channel 13. We'll see you then.